video 2 we will continue the norms. We are finished with norms of UMS, that is the urban malarial scheme. So under that we will see the strategies that was used. So first one is parasite control, vector control and aerosol space spray. So here when we say parasite control, so treatment is done through passive agencies like hospital dispensaries, both in private and public sectors, and private practitioners. So whenever they detected the case of malaria, they made sure that the cases or the patients infected, they were treated in various private public sectors, okay, with the private practitioners as well as the public practitioners and dispensaries, okay. So they were admitted and they were taken care of. Then in mega cities like malaria clinics are established by each health sector or malarial control agencies like municipal corporations, railway defense services, etc. So central government hospitals also made sure that they provided treatment. So this is about the parasite control, mainly after the infection in the humans. Vector control, source reduction, use of larvicides to kill the larvas, use of larvivorous fish which would eat the larva, space spray, minor engineering and legislative measures. So avoiding people, right now that's what we do, lockdown, okay. So avoiding people to the breeding places. And then other space spray. What is space spray? They will just take this insecticide which will kill the mosquitoes and they will spray it in the air, okay, so in the environment. So that is called as space spray. And then larvivorous fish which will eat off the larvas of the mosquitoes. So that was used. Then killing insecticides like which was used to kill the larva are larvicides. So all this was done in order to control the vector. Next you have aerosol space spray. So when we talk about aerosol space spray, so this again it will be used in the air, okay. So space spraying of pyrethrum extract in 50 houses in and around every malarial and dengue positive cases to kill the infected mosquitoes is recommended. Town biologist, state additional director, malaria filaria and central level director, okay, NVP, DCP. So they made sure that even in the house as well as the surrounding, they actually sprayed, okay. So they used pyrethrum extract 2% in 50 houses in and around. So they made sure that the malaria or the dengue causing mosquitoes were eradicated or killed, okay. So these are the strategies under UMS which was mainly focused in and around the urban houses, okay, or the urban region. So far we have seen anti-malarial program. Under that we have seen National Malarial Control Program which was started in the year 1953, and then under that we have seen what were the objectives, strategy, and then malarial control activities that they had to carry, okay. So diagnosis, vector control, supportive supervision, IEC, information, education, communication through mass media, okay, recording, reporting, then achievements. So we have seen how the reduction of the cases have happened. So child spleen rate was about 73. So that was enlarged spleen, okay, if you didn't understand that. So when we say child spleen, because of malaria, the rate of children's spleen were affected were about 73. Then infected disease rate is the parasite rate. So that was about 79%, and infant parasite rate was about 63%. Next we had seen National Malarial Eradication Program which started in the year 1958, and we have seen their activities, achievements and phases. So preparatory phase, then attack phase, then consolidation phase, maintenance phase we have seen. So preparation mainly survey, attack phase, they go and do the surveillance. Surveillance is close observation that they have done. Then consolidation is again focal spray, epidemiological, how much it has affected, okay, the rate. And then we see focal spray. Focal spray is nothing but residual spray where they go inside of the house and they will spray. Then maintenance, area handed over to the general health services for the further maintenance, of the infected cases to get cured, okay, and further treatment that is required, and they will make sure that every area is covered by certain health services will be provided also to the infected person until they are recovered, and further prevention of the malarial control program will be carried out by these health services. So they will make sure that the cases are down. Okay, so all these phases we have seen under NMEP. Then we have seen, next was urban malarial scheme. So this actually here it was started in the year 1971. So this is the third one that we have seen how it has become necessary to focus on the urban area, otherwise it will lead to the proliferation of the malarial cases. Okay, so under that we have seen what are the objectives, then what are the norms and strategies. So strategies, again we have seen 3: parasite control, that is after the infection, vector control of the mosquitoes, and aerosol space spray, okay, in which pyrethrum extract 2% were used in 50 houses in and around to check, okay, so how well it was. It helps in killing, the mosquitoes that cause the malaria and the dengue. Okay, so these are 3 plans which we have seen under programs, which we have seen so far under anti-malarial program. Okay, so next we will continue with NPO. So what was this NPO? Modified Plan of Operation, and this was started in the year 1977. So the attempt at malarial eradication were given up, and under the review policy a modified plan of operation was adopted. So now we know that they further implemented with other steps. So it was modified further. That's why it is called as Modified Plan of Operation NPO. It was started in the year 1977. So what are the objectives? So to prevent the death due to malaria, to reduce the morbidity due to malaria, retention of achievements gained so far. So they reduce the death rate, then they reduce the disease rate, then retention of achievements gained so far. So they have to retain, they should not again go down. So now if we have been successful in maintaining or bringing down the malarial cases, then abruptly it should not increase again. So again they will take care that it is maintained at the lowest level. So these are the objectives of the NPO. Next we will see reclassification of endemic areas, the affected areas. So based on annual parasite incidents, if areas of annual was more than 2 or above, what all they do? Spraying, okay, spraying of the insecticide. Entomological assessment. Now what is this? It is one of the tool used in monitoring and controlling vector-borne diseases. So like larvicides, I can use a larvivorous fish spray, okay, space spray or residual or local spray, okay, and then minor engineering, okay, or legislative measures. All this can be used. So that is entomological assessment. It is one of the tools used in monitoring and controlling the vector-borne disease. So they will assess why it is caused. So that has to be prevented. Next, coming to surveillance. Surveillance means close observation. Okay, the area that is infected or on the person. Okay, close observation or surveillance. Then treatment of cases has to be done. Then decentralization of laboratory services at PHC. So what is that? The transfer of the authority and responsibility for public functions from the central government. So decentralization. So from the central government to the public sector or to the private hospital, okay, they have to make sure that they give adequate laboratory services. So they will be providing the resources that is required for blood test, the solutions, okay, the needles for doing the the syringes that is required. So all this has to be done, decentralization from the central government, or it should be provided to the other sectors or the subordinates. Next, establishment of DDCS and FTDS. So when we say DDTS, it is drug distribution centers. So they should have centers where they can give away this anti-malarial drug. And then FTDS, chloroquine. Drug is anti-malarial drug. So now it is believed, right? So few nations from India, around 40 nations have borrowed, this medicine. So actually America believed that it helps in curing the disease, but it is not, proved. Okay, so FTDS, fever treatment depot. So they will make sure that people who are having fever will be detected, the blood samples will be taken, and then they will be assessed if they are infected with the infection, okay, or do they have malaria. Okay, so these are all the classification, or all these are done according to the area. If it is cases with above 2 of annual parasite incidence. So if it is less, then again focal spraying. Focal spraying is again residual spraying. Take the spray, go in and around, you spray, you use insecticides. Then surveillance, it is a close observation and treatment, follow up, epidemiological investigation. So investigations has to be done in the environment, people who are residing where the cases have been detected. Okay, so these are all the things it is done if there is less than 2 annual parasite incidents. Okay, next we will go to important changes. So what are the various important changes that this program brought? State malariologist made overall in charge of the program. So they made sure that they had a state malariologist, a person who would be in charge of all the program according to every state. Then zonal teams created with entomological component. So zonal teams, so they can have teams, so if you take India, we can have north zonal, okay, or east, northeast, west zonal, south zonal, okay. So different zones we can have, teams, we will work towards it. And then entomological already assessment we have seen, it is a tool which is used to see, right, which can cause the disease, right. So they have to make sure, so it actually helps them in controlling of the vector-borne disease. So they should have a team who will work on finding out, okay, and only if they find out, it will be easy for them to control the disease. Then district malarial post created with direct responsibility for spray, and then we have to actually district malaria post created. There is a post that is created in a district level. So who will be directing or who holds responsibility in sending all the sprays? So they can be done, focal spray, which is a residual spray, or aerospatial spray. So that can be monitored by a person. Spray staff provide on the basis of size of population. So according to the population, they will either send 2 people or 4 people or 6 people or 10 people. Okay, and then medical officer made responsible for malarial work in PHC and NPW for surveillance of program. So they made sure that they had social workers, okay, and then they did have this medical officers who will be in the PHC, who will be taking care of the cases, and for surveillance, okay. So they had social workers who were helping for surveillance phasing of program. Then areas with 2 annual parasite incidents and above to receive regular rounds of spray, other areas to receive focal spray. So if it was more than 2, they made sure that they will get in and around spraying, and if it is less, then only focal spraying, which is a residual spraying. And then you have DDC, already we have seen drug distribution center, so dispense anti-malarial drugs. FTDS, fever treatment depot, so we collect blood slides and distribute anti-malarial drugs, that is after the test if they prove positive. Then they also, these are the important changes, 8 points, and then they have also conducted research, monitoring teams to identify falciparum sensitive to chloroquine. So they have done research to see how much this chloroquine is effective on, falciparum mosquito. Team to test alternate drugs for chloroquine resistance, health education. So they also have a team to test alternate drugs if somebody is resistant to chloroquine. So these are the research areas where they have implemented. Then falciparum containment 1977. So what component? Okay, dealing with component of modified program plan of operation. Okay, modified plan of operation. Then it was introduced with the assistance of Swedish International Developmental Agency to prevent or control the spread of falciparum malaria. So what is this falciparum containment in 1977 is mainly the component of modified plan that they had developed, and then you have introduced. So they also obtained the assistance of Swedish International Developmental Agency. So mainly this helped in prevention and control the spread of the falciparum malaria, that is the mosquito, through mosquito. So surveillance, when we see close observation, what is the aim? To case deduction through lab services and facilitate of proper treatment. Then under that types, you have active surveillance and passive surveillance. So when we say active, it was carried out by surveillance workers itself. They will go and they will do the close observation. When we say passive, it is search for cases by local health agencies, cases those escaped. Active surveillance are screened. So here they will search for cases by local. So other health agencies will go and they will take a survey, and those escaped active surveillance are screened. And people who are still carriers, okay, of this disease will be screened. So that is called as active surveillance and passive surveillance. Okay, so when people escape, from the surveillance workers, direct observation, again they send the health agency workers to find out if somebody is infected. So now for COVID, that's what is happening, right? People are just escaping and running off in India. They're not, yielding themselves for the treatment. Maybe it is because of the government setup or what? Because when they escape and go, again what is happening? Police is going, they are taking them and putting again back into the hospital. By then they would have spread another 100 or 200 people. Okay, so with this we are finishing with modified plan of operation. So next video we will continue with malarial action program. We will see few more program.